It's Bobby Financials time. Let's go. Alright. Let's go. Here we go. Alright. What up? About to get on some Bobby Financials right now. It's credit time. It's knowledge time. It's knowledge time. Yo, what up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What up, Corn Pop? It's time for Bobby Financials in the building. Let's go. It's time to learn. A little bit of put the jokes to the side. It's time for knowledge time. It's knowledge time. We're about to get weird. What up? What up? What up? What's going on? What's up, Jacqueline? How you doing? What's up? What's up? What's up? What up, Sarah? What up, Amberglow? What's good? What's good? What's going on? What up, people? Yo, we're about to get in some knowledge right now. Just gonna spit facts as I can see it. Do the best that I can to provide you with some value. Do the absolute best I can to provide you with value. And this particular chapter of value is going to be dedicated to building your credit, specifically how to think about credit, why it's valuable, how to make more money, how to be financially free, and ultimately how to be free, okay? This is about freedom. This is not about money. This is about freedom. This is not about credit. This is about freedom. Joey Dumpster Fire. Yo, if you haven't watched it already, I dropped a really good video today. It is the hottest of flames. Please go watch it. Share it with your friends. Don't watch it now because you got to stay in here. We got a lot to cover. We got a lot of things to talk about. I'm going to try to help you guys empower yourselves with finances, specifically on the topic of credit. I'm going to leave some of the jokes to the side, although I will do it with my traditional, as you can usually expect, flair. And I'm going to try to give you some facts. If you get any value on this live stream, please do not forget, show me some love, send me a Venmo, donate on Cashapp. If not, share the post after it goes live, tell your friends about it. But the only thing that matters right now, the only thing that matters in this particular live stream is that you get some value out of this. So I'm going to do the best I can to bring that value. Because a lot of people don't know a lot of things about credit. It's really important. It dictates a lot of your financial. People are like, no jokes, I'm out. Cool, that's fine, that's all right. No big deal, it's fine. So here's what I'm going to talk about. What I'm going to talk about is how to be free. And how to be free relies on understanding and being able to manage your money, being able to manage your cash, being able to manage that single instrument, that single tool that helps you stay free now until forever. It protects you, it protects your health, it protects your interests, it protects your family, and ultimately it protects you from doing things that you don't want to do. So understanding how much control credit has over your life and how much control managing your money has over your life is a crucial element of you being free here on the planet of Earth. When I did not understand credit until I was about 25 years old, I wish I had something like this to educate me. So I'm going to do the best that I can to cut through all of the BS and just focus straight on the things that matter the absolute most. So here's what it is. First, you need to understand what money is, where it comes from, why it has value. I would encourage everybody to do a lot of research on this, where money comes from, how it gets issued value, and all of that stuff. I'm not going to cover that now, but I'm going to specifically focus on credit. Now, first of all, anybody that thinks that money is evil or money is the root of all evil or money is whatever, you are not understanding the purpose of money. Money is a tool, it's an instrument, it's like a hammer, it's like a screwdriver. It is a tool that you use to be free, to build protection, to build a fortress around yourself financially that will protect you and your family for a lifetime to come. So money is not evil, money is not the root of all evil. Greed is evil, money is just an instrument. Greed is evil, money is just an instrument, it's just a tool, and it can empower you to protect yourself. Now, if you change your relationship with money, how you think about money, what you associate with money, what you associate with about having money, getting money, accumulating money, if you change your opinion on it, it changes how you feel about it. If you can have passion for money, if you can learn to love money and love the freedom that it provides you, instead of thinking about it like money, think about it like freedom. Think about it like freedom. You want freedom, you want to preserve freedom, you want to protect your freedom. That is what is most important. Change your relationship with money and more will come to you. Think about it as a tool and an instrument of freedom. Now, your credit score dictates a lot of how your money management goes throughout your life. So, first and foremost, every single person, even if you do not have a credit score, should go to creditkarma.com Open an account on creditkarma.com and make sure that you know and understand your credit score. Credit Karma is totally free. It requires absolutely nothing other than, I believe, your social security number and some basic information. They will not charge you. They monetize when you get credit cards and when you do other things through their service. The actual service of creating the account and knowing your credit from day to day is extremely important. So I would highly suggest that you go to creditkarma.com and create an account so that you can know your credit, even if it's zero. Go to creditkarma.com, create an account. That's number one. Number two, in order to be free, you need to have a good handle on your money. You need to know how much you have at all times, which means if you have online banking or a cell phone, you should put that app on your phone. If you have a major bank or a major or any major financial institution, they're going to have a cell phone app. You should know the balance in your bank account, your checking, your savings every day. You should have a very good idea of how much money you have at every given moment. It would also be very advantageous for you to understand and know your net worth at all times. Know the total value of all of your assets, whether you have property, whether you have vehicles, whether you have investments, whether you have stocks, whether you have cash in your back pocket, whether you have video games or gift cards or assets around your house that you could potentially sell. Try to get an understanding of the total value of all of those items and calculate them and understand them and know them from day to day. If you know your net worth, you know the scoreboard of your life, of your financial freedom. You can understand and manage your freedom by knowing how much you have at any given moment. Know your bank balance every single day. Know the balance of your credit cards every single day. Know the value of all of your assets and all of your liabilities by heart, by your mind, every single day. Know them every single day. I cannot reiterate that enough. You need to know how much money you got day to day. That's the only way that you're going to get more of it. And it's not about money, it's about freedom. It's not about money, it's about freedom. Okay, what is the absolute most important thing about establishing credit is that you open credit accounts. The simple and easiest way, at least in the United States, to establish credit is to go to a large department store like Macy's, like Target, like Walmart. I don't know exactly all of the places that offer it, but I know for a fact that Macy's does. And open a credit account with Macy's. If you open a credit account with Macy's, you do not have to have anything. You do not have to give them any money. You don't have to have anything other than be of age, 18 years old, and have a social security number. You go to Macy's, you open a Macy's credit card. What a Macy's credit card is, it's not a Visa, it's not a MasterCard. Basically, it's a credit account that Macy's extends to you. You walk into Macy's, you buy a pair of jeans, you use your Macy's credit card account, and basically what that means is they just bill you at the end of the month. This is a very simple way for any person at any age above 18, no credit, bad credit, whatever, to establish credit. Because it's not actual credit, it's just store credit, but it still counts. It still goes on your credit score. It is a very easy and very simple way for any person at any age to begin establishing credit. Your credit score is essentially a scorecard. It is essentially like your social score in the eyes of all financial institutions. How you rank on that credit score will dictate how much your mortgage is, what types of cars you can purchase, what types of things you can afford, the loans that you can get. It will dictate how much and how flexible your financial freedom is personally as well as in your business if you have one. So this extremely crucial score will dictate more about how you save, earn, and grow your money over your entire life than quite possibly any other financial instrument or any other financial process that you could ever follow. This credit score reigns supreme over your financial life now until the end of your life. It is extremely important to stay on top of this throughout your adult life, and it will never end until the day you die, unless you just have so much money that it just doesn't matter. But despite that, because the vast majority of people won't get to that point, this number is going to be very, very crucial to your freedom throughout your entire life. So, first, go to Macy's, go to a big department store, and open a credit card account. It's the simplest thing that you can do with absolutely no credit. The second thing, this is something that I wish people told me a long time ago. This applies if you are just a normal person or if you're a business. Pretty much every major bank in the United States, at least, has what's called a secured credit card. What a secured credit card is the following. You go into the bank and they give you a credit card, and the limit of that credit card is the amount of money that you put down at that bank. So for example, let's say that you go into Wells Fargo, you say, I want a secured credit card. You don't need any credit. You could have bad credit, you could have horrible credit, you could have no credit at all. If you open a secured credit card, what they do is they take a down payment, let's say, or an amount of money that they can hold for you, and then they extend you that amount in credit on your credit card. That credit card is a Visa or a MasterCard, and it's accepted all around the entire world. Go to your bank and open a secured credit card. So essentially, you could go into Wells Fargo, you give them $200. They take that $200 and they put it in a bank account and they hold it for you. Then they give you a credit card that allows you to spend up to that $200. As you start to pay that amount down, let's say you go and you buy gas, you go and buy some food, you spend $100 for the month, you get the bill at the end of the month, you pay the credit card down. The next month comes, you spend $200, you pay the credit card down. As you have a consistent history of paying off this bill, it builds your credit with the bank. It builds their trust in you at the bank. By you building that trust with them, by you demonstrating to them that not only will you borrow money, utilize the credit, and then pay it back, it proves that you have financial safety, which means that you're good for your bills, you're going to pay them back, and the bank can't lose, because in the event that you default on a payment or you fail to pay, they only gave you $200 of credit and you put down $200. So if you default, you don't pay the bill, you disappear off the face of the earth, you go to Mexico and you disappear, they have that $200 to pay down your credit card. That's what makes it secured. After a period of time, usually 12 to 18 months, the bank will refund you the amount that you secured and then extend you that same $200 of credit with nothing holding it back, which means that at the end of the month, they send you a bill and then you just pay it back. If you don't pay it back, they'll send it to collections or they'll ding your credit score, which will follow you around for many, many years to come and punish you financially. Thank you, Casey, for the Venmo donation. I appreciate that. So opening a secured credit card is a crucial way to establish credit for you personally as well as for your business. If you have a business, go open a secured credit card right now. But for the longest time with my business, I did not understand what business credit was. I only knew what personal credit was. Now, some people will be like, well, I don't want to open a credit card because I don't want to spend myself into oblivion. Thank you, Jenny, for the Venmo donation. I very much appreciate that. Thank you. So what I didn't understand is that the amount of credit accounts that you have open is essentially you telling the world, the credit scored gods as it were, that you are good for the money that you borrow, okay? So there are a couple of different factors that determine your credit score that you need to pay attention to. And I'm gonna go over those things right now. There are 6 primary factors that determine how your credit score is managed. Payment history, credit card use, derogatory remarks, credit age, total accounts, and hard inquiries. So I'm going to go over these 6 elements. Now, my philosophy about paying credit cards down may be different than most people, so you do whatever you want, but this is how I do it. It's not meant to be the fucking Bible of how this needs to happen, but this is just my way of doing it. This is what I like to do. I do not pay credit card interest. I don't spend money on my credit card that I do not have in the bank. Ever. If I spend $1,000 on my credit card, I have $1,000 in the bank at least, okay? I never, ever spend money on my credit card that I do not have in cash right now. Which means if everything was to go to hell, I'm paying this credit card back at the end of the month. If you do that and you pay your credit card back at the end of every month, what you are essentially getting is a interest-free, temporary, short-term loan. So think of it like this. Let's say I have $5,000 in the bank, and my credit card I can spend up to $1,000. You can spend $1,000 on that credit card, starting at the first of the month to the 30th. You spend your full $1,000. At the end of the month, they issue you a bill. You then have 15 or whatever, I think it's sometimes 30 days to pay off the previous month's bill. So if you spend $1,000 on day 1, you don't have to actually pay that $1,000 back until 45 days later. That is a free short-term loan. That is a 45-day loan that costs you nothing. It costs you no interest, you pay no penalty, you just borrow the money, you pay it back. You borrow the money, you pay it back. And in the process of you doing that, you're also building your credit score because you're establishing the fact that you're not only good for borrowing money, but you're good for paying it back. Of course, the banks want you to pay interest, but as far as your credit score is concerned, this helps build your credit. Buy a tank of gas, buy a cup of coffee, buy every single thing on that credit card, and then pay it right back. pay it right back, pay it right back. You should have a cell phone app on your phone, or you should be very aware of what your credit utilization is, how much money you spent on that credit card at all times, just like you would know the amount of money that's in your bank account. So I'm going to go over the six high impact or impact factors that determine how your credit score is managed. Payment history, credit card use, derogatory marks, credit age, total accounts, and hard inquiries. So the first is payment history. The absolute worst thing that you can do as it relates to your credit score or having any credit at all is have a bad payment history, which means not paying those payments on time. Now, at the end of the month, let's say you borrow $1,000 and then it also issues some interest. You don't have to pay the full $1,000 at the end of the month in order to pay that payment on time. You just have to pay the amount that they require you to pay. So you could borrow $1,000 and they may say your payment for the month is $100. So you could borrow the $1,000, you could pay the $100 at the end of the month, then you still owe $900. That's not a late payment. You're still making the payment on time and you're not getting penalized. I don't like doing that. I like paying 100% of it back, but you can do that. The point is if they say a payment is due and you miss it, that is a severely high impact negative on your credit score. So the ideal payment history to have is 100%, which means that you absolutely never miss a payment on any credit card, secured or otherwise. No bank loan, no medical bill, no school loan, nothing. You never make a late payment. That is one of the most significant impacts to your credit score that you can possibly do. The lesson is, if you only spend money that you have in your bank account, you never miss a payment. Follow? You should also set up automatic payments for your credit card so that you don't even miss it even if you don't pay attention. Maybe you go out of the country, you miss the date, whatever. What you could also do, which is what I like to do, is I make payments on my credit card bill during the month. So if I borrow $5,000 over the course of a month, I'll throw $500 in right after a paycheck comes. I'll throw in $750, $600, $500, $200 as the month progresses, and I'm always constantly cycling it down. Instead of getting hit with a big $2,000 pop at the end of the month, it's $300, $500, $300, $500, $500, $400, $300, and it doesn't feel like such a powerful punch to the beanbag every time you pay that bill down. So just constantly get in the habit of buying and paying it back, buying and paying it back, buying and paying it back, utilizing the credit card and then immediately paying it back down. Payment history is a high impact factor, which means if you do not pay a payment on time, it impacts your credit score negatively to a high degree. So that's a really, really important thing for maintaining a good credit score. The next is called credit card use. Credit card use is also high impact, meaning that your utilization, the amount of your credit that you utilize per month or over the course of a month, has a high impact to how your credit score gets affected positively or negatively. Basically what it means is this. Your credit card utilization, or also known as credit card use, is the amount of credit that you're using at any given time compared to your total limits. For example, let's say that your credit card limit is $10,000. And you use $1,000 over the course of the month. You're using 10% of your available credit. Your utilization is 10%. In order to maintain a good credit score, you want to keep your monthly utilization between 2 and 5, sometimes as low as 7%. You don't want to go above that. You can go above that, but you don't want to. You want to try to keep between 3 and 7% of your total utilization. How you benefit from this over time is the more credit cards you have, the lower your utilization rate is. So if you have one credit card that you could borrow 10 and another one that you could borrow 20, your total is 30K. Now that 3% is a much higher number. If you can only borrow 200, well, don't go spend 200. Start really low. Keep your utilization really, really low. Demonstrate that you can consistently pay your bills back, and then over time, your credit score will grow. Then you can get your limits, the amount of money that you can borrow, that can go higher, and then your percentage goes down. So if I have $100,000 of borrowing power and I spend $10,000, I'm using 10%. If you only have $1,000 of borrowing power and you use $100, that's the same 10%. We're utilizing the same 10%, but I can borrow a much higher amount. So the idea is that you only want to utilize a very small percentage of that credit throughout any given month. The next high impact factor on your credit score is called derogatory marks. Essentially what a derogatory mark is whenever somebody doesn't pay something back, they ding your credit score. It's basically the last line of defense after collections and all this other stuff to try to get your money back. This track record, it's almost like it's like this never-ending scorecard, report card of your financial health to any other institution that wants to let you borrow money. So just think about this as like it's like your medical history. It follows you around throughout your entire life, and other banks will look at it when they determine whether or not they should extend you credit. And if they do decide to extend you credit, they will dictate what percentage rate they offer you and how much they offer you based on how high or low your credit score is. So they look at these things like your payment history. Have you been paying everything on time? What's your average utilization? Are you using 50%, 75%, 100% of your credit card utilization? And do you have any derogatory marks? One can infer that if you have late payments, we have to charge you more to manage our risk. If you typically use 80% of your credit card of your total limit, you probably don't have that much money in the bank, because why are you always using 80%, right, of what's offered to you? Now, if you have a derogatory mark, that's even worse. A derogatory mark would be something like collections, a tax lien, a bankruptcy, or a civil judgment. So basically what that means is like, let's say you have and I've had friends that have had this problem before. Let's say that you have something that was sent to collection, like you didn't pay rent, and you're like, my landlord's a piece of crap, whatever, I didn't pay him, and they send that to collections. Well, you could be mad. Thank you, Edna, I appreciate that for the Venmo payment. Thank you so much. If they look and they see a derogatory mark on your statement, that's really bad. That means that you failed to pay a bill, and they submitted it to the credit agencies to let other institutions know that if you go to borrow money, that hey, you may not want to trust this person, or you may want to charge a higher amount or charge them more money because they represent a greater risk to your institution. You may not get your money back. If you do get it back, it could take you a longer period of time. So you don't want anything going to collections. You don't want a tax lien. You absolutely don't want to go bankrupt. And you don't want any civil judgments to appear on your report. The way that you avoid this is, go figure, pay your bills. Even if you maybe don't think it's just or whatever else, pay your bills. You do not want derogatory marks on your credit score. And if it's a small amount, even if you think that it's undeserving, let's say it's $500. I have seen friends that have had a $100 collection on their credit report, and it dings their rating, and they pay that $100 back hundreds of times over in the extra interest that they have to pay on their car loan or their home loan or whatever else, because they didn't want to pay somebody $100 because of the principal. That's stupid. Protect yourself. Don't worry about the emotional side of it. This is a game. This is a financial game that the banks are playing. You gotta play the game to win. I don't make the rules of the game. I don't necessarily like the game, but this is the game. And if you want to win at it, you need to know how all this stuff works. The next is a medium impact on your credit report, and it's called the credit age. Credit age is essentially the average age of the open credit accounts that you currently have to your name. So what you want is I believe what they want is a 6-year average age before they allow you to kind of like level up. So at the very beginning, for the first 6 years of you establishing credit, you're kind of like nobody, right? The thing is that you want multiple accounts open, which I'll get into in a second, but you also want the average credit age to be really high. If I come in to borrow money and I have 100% payment history, my credit utilization is really low, I have no derogatory marks, but the credit age, meaning the average age of my open credit accounts, is 7 years and yours is 2 years, who would you rather borrow? Who would you rather lend money to? Who would you rather lend money to cheaper? These are all normal things that if you were just a person and somebody was to come into your house, a friend, a family member, or someone you don't know, and you were going to let them borrow money, you would want to know that they always paid on time, that they didn't use all the money that you gave them, that nobody came out here and said that they went bankrupt, and you'd want to know that they've successfully maintained credit accounts for a long period of time. So your credit age is basically the average of all your open accounts. So for example, let's say you open an account and you have it open for 10 years, and then you open another account and it's open for 1 month. The average age of those two accounts is only 5 years. So if you were over 6 years, which is good, and now you open a new account, your average just went from 10 years down to 5 years. Now you're back tiered down. That's how the game works. So the idea is go open, in theory, as many accounts as you can. Now, I'm not saying open 50 accounts, but I'm saying you want like 6 to 10 accounts open at any given time. That could be a car loan, that could be a mortgage or a home loan, that could be a credit card for your business, a credit card for your personal, a secured credit card, a Macy's card, a Target card, an Amazon card, or whatever else. You want as many accounts open as possible that you can manage. You don't want 1,000, but you probably want like 10, 8, 9, 6. You want to kind of open as many as you can get approved for early on. So the idea is that if you're going to start establishing your credit now, open your Macy's card, open your secured credit card, then maybe open a secured credit card at another bank. Now you have 3 credit accounts, okay? Now another really important lesson that it took me forever to learn is that you never, I repeat, never, ever want to close a credit account. You're done with a credit card. I got a JetBlue card. I never fly JetBlue. JetBlue stopped flying out of my area. I don't like JetBlue. Fuck JetBlue. Whatever. Don't close it. Leave that account open. Spend a couple dollars on it as best as you can. Buy a tank of gas. Buy a cup of coffee. Keep that account open and keep it maintained. You don't need to spend money on the account all the time, but you do need to spend on it every once in a while. Maybe a couple times a year, whatever. But you want to keep those accounts open. You don't want to close them. Because if you close an account, again, it reduces your credit age. Which leads me to the next factor for improving your credit, which is the total number of accounts that you have open. It's the total number of accounts that you have open at any given time. If you have 10 accounts open, but your credit card utilization is low, your payment history is 100%, you have no derogatory marks, and you have a good credit age, this tells the credit agencies that you're a reliable person. Now, the next thing is called a hard inquiry. A hard inquiry is the amount of times that you've applied for credit. So the idea is that you don't want to be applying for credit all the time. You also want to space out how you apply for credit over time. Now, if you're just getting started, this is not that important because your credit score is 0. So it's okay if you get a couple hard inquiries right away. But the idea is this. If I'm going to have a hard inquiry, meaning I'm going to get like a car loan, that's a hard inquiry. A mortgage, that's a hard inquiry. A new credit card with Southwest Airlines, that's a hard inquiry. What that is that basically means that a financial institution is pulling your report to identify whether or not you're trustworthy before they extend you credit. So a hard inquiry, meaning the amount of times that somebody hits your account, has like a negative but very low impact on your credit score. So when a hard inquiry comes in, if I got 15 in a week, it's like it ratchets you down because it's like, why is this person so desperate for all this credit all of a sudden? That's kind of like a red flag. So you want to have a very low amount of hard inquiries as you go on. So if I'm going to apply for a car loan, I don't want to apply for a credit card loan 2 weeks earlier. I'm going to maybe space it out so that the amount of hard inquiries per year or in any given time is lower. So for example, let's say you're going to get a mortgage loan. Don't apply for a car loan a month before the mortgage loan. It's going to be a smaller loan, but it's still a hard inquiry. Don't apply for a credit card. Wait and make sure that the only hard inquiry that you have that year is the one for your mortgage. That way you're spreading those hard inquiries out over a period of time. The key and most important thing about credit history is understanding the value of time and how all of this stuff equates and balances out over time. Because the thing about it is like, time is moving no matter what. And if you're establishing these little pieces and just dropping these breadcrumbs and following these rules, before you know it, you'll be 5 years down the line and your credit score will be popping and you'll be able to borrow money for a car at a low amount, you'll be able to get loans at a low amount, you'll be able to get credit for your business at a low amount, and it basically goes like this. It's fucking really hard to get credit for a long time. And then when you actually get credit, they can't throw money at you fast enough. They can't extend you credit fast enough. When I first started, I had to open 2 secured credit cards. I put in $500 into one, $500 into another one. I had a Macy's card, and that was it. That's all I had. I had $1,000 of credit. Now, after 8 years, my payment history, after 8 years of doing this, my payment history is 100%. My credit card utilization right now, because I have a bunch of credit, is 1%. My derogatory marks in 8 years is 0. My credit age, after doing this for over 8 years, my credit age is 5 years and 10 months, which is not even the highest. I have 11 credit accounts open right now, and I have 5 hard inquiries, and my credit score is an 801. Okay? So I've been doing this for 8 years. The highest credit score that you can have is an 850, and after all this, all of my positivity, I'm only at 801. But 801 is pretty good. Now, as soon as my average credit age goes over 6 years, which is kind of like the next tier up, which is in 2 months, I'll probably go from 801 to like 820. If I have an 820 credit score, I go in, I got no derogatory, low credit card utilization, low payment history, or 100% payment history. They're like, how much do you want? They can't extend money to me fast enough. You basically go from having like a couple $1,000s of credit to having like hundreds of thousands of dollars of credit. And that's where I'm at now, because it's just like, they're like, yeah, this guy's legit. Always pays on time, no negative marks, low utilization, high credit age, a lot of accounts open, Borrow from us. Now, if you follow my dictate about always paying the credit card back, you don't really care how much your APR is. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an understanding of what a credit card APR is. A credit card APR APR stands for annual percentage rate. So when you go and you apply for a credit card, let's say you get a credit card with JetBlue, Southwest Airlines, Amazon, whatever else, they're going to tell you on the documents that you agree to what your APR is, your annual percentage rate. Essentially, let's say that you have a 20% annual percentage rate. Your APR on your credit card is 20%. That means that if you borrow $1,000 on the first of the year, by the end of the year, 12 calendar months, you will be paying 20% of that total amount, which has been compounded over the 12 months, because every month you get issued interest. But over the entire year, it's 20%. So whatever 20% is divided by 12 for your $1,000 is how much you're going to be paying per month. So you spend $1,000 on the first of the year. At the end of the year, you owe $1,200. That's a 20% APR. If you always pay your credit card bills down, then you don't really care how high the APR is, which allows you to take credit cards that have a really, really high APR because you don't care. The higher the APR, the higher the likelihood is that you'll be approved for those credit cards. So if you open, for example, a Southwest Airlines account, the APR could be 25%, but you don't care because you're going to pay it back before the end of the month anyways, or at the end of the month. So the APR becomes irrelevant, which means they could charge whatever they want because you're not going to pay any interest anyhow. You're just using it to establish credit. Now, people have, here's another philosophy that I have about credit cards. If possible, you should be using a credit card, not a debit card, not a debit card with a Visa or MasterCard logo, a credit card, specifically a credit card, for every single transaction that you make, no matter what it is, where it is, or when it is. Cup of coffee, $2. Pack of gum at the gas station, 99 cents. Anywhere that you can, use your credit card all of the time. The reason for that is that, number one, it represents a free short-term loan. It's literally a free loan. Great. Number two, it helps establish your credit because money is flowing through your cards. Number three, what it also allows you to do is a credit card creates a trail. That trail, also known as a ledger, keeps track of all your expenses. So at the end of the month, you can be like, well, I spent $1,000 at restaurants. I spent $500 on Uber. I spent $200 on Uber Eats. I spent $200 on gas. The more data that you have about the money that you spend, the better you can manage it going forward. If you were to see at the end of the month that you spent $350 on Uber Eats, you'd be like, holy shit. Or you could see at the end of the month that you spent $195 on Starbucks. That simple fact of knowing it and having it in a provable ledger will educate you that, wait a second, if I spend $350 a month on Starbucks, how much would it cost to have Starbucks in a can delivered to my house? Oh, that would only cost $200 a month? Now you'd be insane to go to Starbucks and spend $350. Then it's like, wait a second, if I buy it in a can, well, what if I make coffee at home? What if I buy bags of Starbucks coffee for $10 a piece? I buy a coffee machine, $30. I buy a grinder, $25. And then I grind the coffee and make it at home and take it in a thermos. I buy a nice thermos, the thermos is $20. Okay, I have $100 one time, and then I make my coffee at home. Now I'm gonna save $350 a month, and instead it's gonna cost me $10 a month. $350 a month times 12 months is $4,200. You can save $4,200 by spending $150 making your coffee at home. Now you're like, wait a second, if I have an extra $3,000 a year, what could I do with that? I could take a trip to Hawaii. I could buy an extra thing that I want. I could buy an extra toy. I could buy some stocks. I could invest it in a retirement account. I could use all that money that I'm saving. And the only way that you know it, the only way that it really hits you right in the beanbag is by using this free ledger to track all the money that you spend. If you track all that money that you spend, it gives you a better understanding of the financial picture that is your life. So I would suggest that you never use cash. Only use a credit card all the time. Free short-term loan, build your credit, and it will also give you a free ledger in which you can manage and understand where your money is going, where it's going to, how much you're spending. Knowledge is power as it relates to this specific topic, and your understanding of how much money you have, how much money you're spending, and the tracking of all of that is key to your financial freedom. That is what will let you level up. Think about it like this. If you have think about it like this. If you borrow, let's say that you go to buy a house and you borrow $200,000 and the rate that you get for that mortgage is 3.75%. Somebody goes in there and buys the exact same house. They take the exact same $200,000 loan, but because their credit score is dog shit, they pay 4.5%. Oh, it's only 0.75%. What a big deal. Over a 30-year loan, that 0.75% that you pay an extra because you didn't give a shit about this credit score could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands of dollars on just that mortgage alone. These actions now, these small steps now, will literally save you tens of thousands of dollars, quantifiable over the course of your life. Car loans, personal loans, bank loans for whatever it is, business loans, and your mortgage. Your mortgage is the most obvious example of this. You got a good credit score, you've established credit, you got accounts open, you got a good credit age, you got a low amount of inquiries, you're gonna drive a better car, you're gonna have a more expensive house, and you're gonna pay less money for it. That's freedom. That's freedom. Okay. How are you guys liking this so far? Hit me with a double thumbs up in the comments. Hit me with some hearts. Let me know that I'm doing the right thing here. You guys following along? Hit me with some hearts. Hit me with some double thumbs up. You guys liking what I'm doing here? Trying to run through this as fast as I can. Hit me with some thumbs up. Okay. Thank you. And thank you to everybody that's sent me Venmos. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. All right, good. Okay. Now, I want you to think about in the event that you were to think about a credit card company. Everybody's heard of cashback cards. Now, this is just a theory. This is just my theory. You do whatever you want with this information. This is my theory about credit cards. I want a credit card that creates a reward for me. A lot of people say they want cash back. They like the cash back cards. Think about this. Think about it like this. I'm the credit card company, and I'm going to give you cash back on your card. Meaning, I'm going to give you 1%, 2%, 3% cash back on your card. At the end of the month, I have to give you that 3% in physical cash, right? If I have to give you that cash, it costs that cash. It costs you the 3%. I have to give you back $100 or $200 or whatever else. Now think about if you were to be able to give a reward to somebody that wasn't in the form of cash. Like, for example, Southwest Airlines. That's what I use my credit cards for. Southwest Airlines will give you back points that you can use towards travel. So instead of giving you $200 in cash, Southwest Airlines can give you $200 equivalent in airline miles. So instead of giving you $200, they could give you $300 because that $300 of airline points only costs Southwest $100 because they're making a profit on your purchase, right? So if you go to buy something from Southwest and you spend, let's say that you spend $300, that only costs them $100. So they can afford to give you a higher reward back because they're getting it in credit back. So the idea is that if you want what I feel like is the most return from using a credit card, open up a credit card at a company that you frequently use and use it as credits towards that company. I like to fly, I like to travel, so I use Southwest. I was like, I spend a majority of my travel dollars on airline tickets. Maybe you want to use it for Hilton hotels. Maybe you want to use it for Amazon, whatever. But maybe you want to use it for maybe Sephora. Or no, not Sephora. Maybe you want to use it at Ulta or whatever else. The point is that if you can cash in to points at that business, they can afford to give you more cash value than a company that's giving you physical actual cash, because cash is cash. So if Citibank gives you back $200 at the end of the month, Southwest Airlines can afford to give you $300 because it's only costing them $100. So if you use someone like Southwest Airlines, for example, there's a lot of other benefits and you get more cash equivalent. Because if you're going to take that cash back and you're going to spend it on a hotel at Hilton, or you're going to spend it on Southwest Airlines, or you're going to spend it wherever else, all you have is that $200. So I like using a credit card. I like using a credit card company like Southwest Airlines because it means that I have free airline miles. I know that I'm always going to fly. I'm going to fly places for fun, I'm going to fly places for business, I'm going to fly to see friends, I'm always going to fly. So I accumulate those points, they never go away, they never expire, and I'm just accumulating points. Gas station, cup of coffee, pair of sneakers, clothing, whatever. I'm always accumulating those points. And right now I have over 100,000 Southwest points. So anytime I fly somewhere, like next month I'm flying somewhere, or no, in a couple weeks I'm flying somewhere, the flight is free. Totally free. Instead of me putting out $200 for that flight, I get that flight for free. That's the type of thing that these points will allow you to accumulate. So I always opt for points or credits to a business more so than I want actual physical cash back. Some people feel differently about this, but I'm always for the points for the business. Hey, the dog's just like, let me drink water and eat food and just like make as much noise as humanly possible while you do this. Now, if you use a company like Southwest for your credit card reward points, I would highly suggest that you use primarily one of them. Like, for example, Southwest Airlines. I use Southwest for every single transaction that I use on a credit card for my personal life and for my business. Every single thing. So I'll hit you with this one. When somebody buys a shirt like this from my store, bobbysauce.com, I get billed to my credit card for the shirt. So let's say that the shirt cost me $13 and I charge $22 for it on the store. When the order comes in, I receive $22 in cash, less the credit card fees and whatever. So let's say I get $19 in cash. Then my fulfillment center hits my credit card for $13. So I'm accumulating now $13 worth of points when somebody buys a shirt in my store. I use those points to rack up Southwest Airline points and thus get free miles. Cash comes in, hits my credit card, cash goes out, and then I accumulate points. So I'm doing what I would have done anyways, what I would have literally done anyways, and points accumulate. Free airline miles accumulate. That's how you can really play the game to win. Southwest Airlines, the APR on my credit card at Southwest Airlines is like it's like 25%. It's like the most astronomical, insane amount ever. You would be insane to pay the interest that they offer you on this credit card. But you know what I've done? Never paid a dollar. Not a single dollar have I paid an interest to Southwest Airlines, ever. And I've had the account open for 5 years. Now, I use my business account and I use my personal account at Southwest Airlines. As a result of this, all of my business expenses and all of my personal expenses go through Southwest, and they accumulate points. Those points get pooled into a single account. Southwest Airlines has different tiers when you spend certain amounts of money. So if you spend $1,000 a month or $10,000 a month or $15,000 a month, you're accumulating all these points. After a quarter or whatever, after you hit a certain amount of money spent, let's say $10,000, they kind of ratchet you up a tier and say, now your points are worth 1.5 points. Now you get priority boarding. Now you get free Wi-Fi on the flight. Now you get all these benefits because you're pushing more cash through their system, right? As a result of that, me using my business and my personal through Southwest and me accumulating all these points, now I have an A-list membership. I skip all the lines at the airport. I get free Wi-Fi on the plane. On top of that, they have this thing called the Companion Pass. The Companion Pass, you spend a certain amount of dollars in a year, and they give you the ability to fly with another person for free. So I can fly for the price of one ticket. I can fly 2 people anywhere in the United States whenever I want. And since I don't have to pay for airline tickets, I literally get 2 free tickets to any destination that I want 5, 6, 7 times a year for free. You're talking 12 airline tickets. Think about the value of 12 airline tickets in a given year. That could be $2,400. That could be $2,200. A cashback card may only pay you back $1,100 in a calendar year, whereas I get $2,200 or $2,400 in cash equivalent value from Southwest because all of my expenses are funneling through Southwest and I'm accumulating Southwest points. So pick a place that you want to spend money at, that you're going to spend money at anyways, and get a credit card from there and accumulate points there. If you open a business account, open it there. If you have a personal account, open it there. Have all of your things going through that one place. Something else that's really important to understand is that, and this is not necessarily a credit comment, this is more of a money comment. The most easy dictate for how to look at money, physical hard cash, is that cash is trash. I try to remember this all the time. Cash is trash. Cash that sits in your bank account, savings or checking or otherwise, that you don't need to survive for the next 3 to 9 months, let's call it 6 months, is languishing away and losing value, objectively losing value in your bank account because of what is called inflation. Inflation is the value of your money decreasing over time. So for example, let's just use a crazy number. Let's say that the inflation was 10%. If you had $10 in the bank and the inflation is 10%, after 1 year of 10% inflation, you need $11 to now get what you could have gotten for $10 1 year ago. Your money is subject to inflation, which means it's decreasing in its purchasing power, aka decreasing in its value over time. So if you have money that sits in a bank account that you don't need for like a rainy day, for example, you should be trying to invest that money wherever you can, either into a certificate deposit, also known as a CD, a money market account, which can yield you interest back, or you should try to invest it into things like your own education, advertisements for your business, assets that you can keep like gold, silver, US-based stocks, foreign stocks. You could buy bonds, you could buy index funds in the stock market, you could buy small businesses, or you could buy the most important investment of all, the best investment of all, cash flow. What you want is cash flow. Cash flow is the most important thing to being financially free forever. What cash flow is the ability for your empire to generate cash while you're asleep, while you're dead. If you can figure out a way to invest into cash flow, you essentially become invincible. If you can get that cash flow to be above the amount of money that you need per month to live, you can retire today. That's what cash flow does. It doesn't matter how much money you make when you go out and make it. If you can figure out how to get cash to flow into you outside of your own personal efforts, if you can get your money to generate cash flow for you, you're financially free, you're free, you did it, you won, the game is over. If you can figure out how to get cash flow, you win forever. A lot of people find cash flow in things like real estate. Real estate can generate cash flow, but a lot of people are like, well, real estate could be risky, it could go down, you could lose the roof, the renters could not pay you, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not suggesting necessarily that every person gets into real estate, but what I am saying is that you need to find a way to get to cash flow. Cash flow is the most crucial element. Every rich person, every truly rich person, every truly wealthy person in the world has a cash flow machine that makes them money while they sleep, that makes them money while they're dead, which means that their empire exists beyond them. That's how you secure your children. That's how you secure your children's children. You buy and you generate assets that generate cash flow for you. One way, which I think is the most crucial way to be wealthy and stay wealthy, is to purchase assets that generate cash flow. So, I got a little far ahead as it relates to the cash flow topic, but the point is that to do a quick review of what we've talked about so far. You have no credit, you have bad credit, non-existent credit. Open a store credit card, a place like Macy's, Target, or maybe your favorite makeup spot or whatever. A place that offers in-store credit card, not necessarily a Visa or MasterCard logo, just in-store credit. That counts towards your credit score. Number one. Number two, open a secured credit card. Go to the bank that you use right now and open a secured credit card. Put down $200, $500, $1,000, whatever cash that you have, put it down. Go to places like Southwest Airlines and open a credit card account with your favorite company, the company that you're going to expend money on anyways, and figure out how to get cash back. Never use cash, never use cash, never use cash, never use cash. Don't use cash. A credit card is a free short-term loan. It is an interest-free short-term loan. It also creates a ledger that allows you to track the amount of money that you spend day to day, week to week, month to month, and it gives you a better understanding of your financial picture. Use a credit card for every single purchase that you make. Doesn't matter what it is or how much it is. Use it all the time, anytime, always, forever. Open multiple accounts. Don't pay your bills late. Don't get derogatory marks. Be aware of your credit card utilization, how much money you're using out of your total credit limit per month. If you have a business, open a secured credit card for your business. Ideally, keep all these things in a manageable place and stay aware of them all the time. Don't look at money as evil. Don't look at money as the root of all evil. Look at money as a tool, an instrument for generating and maintaining your freedom. It is an instrument. It is an instrument. It is like a wrench. It is like a hammer. It is an instrument for preserving your freedom. Open a Credit Karma account, totally free. We'll show you how your credit score is determined, and we'll help you keep track and allow you to pull your credit report so that you can see what's going on with your accounts. On Credit Karma, once you create an account, and I'm not pushing Credit Karma for any reason other than I use it and I like it, and I think it's a great way to help you manage your life. On your Credit Karma account, it will show you different ways, different credit cards that would be highly likely that you would be approved for. So you go on Credit Karma and you click on the Cards tab, and it shows you a variety of different cards in their credit card marketplace that show you which cards that you could get approved for. Keep in mind that Visa and MasterCard are the two most universal credit card companies in the world. They are accepted at the most places. Many credit cards now can be used in other countries. So for example, 2 years ago, I went to Italy. Thank you so much, Ariana. I appreciate that Venmo. Thank you kindly. You can use your credit card in other countries. Now, when I went to Italy, I brought my Southwest Airlines credit card. And what did I do? Every single thing, no matter whether it was denominated in US dollars or Italian currency, I don't even know what it is. Euros, whatever. I can swipe my Southwest credit card and they will automatically convert the amount of money that it needs to into USD, and they will bill it with no fees. So you can use your Southwest credit card anywhere in the world. And that way, when you go to Italy, you don't have to do a money exchange, you don't have to do a cash exchange, just ding that credit card over and over again. Creates a ledger that shows you how much the trip cost you, so you can manage your money. It gives you that free short-term loan, and it also doesn't give you any of those currency conversion fees that are obviously so astronomical. If you open a credit card, I would highly suggest that you choose a Visa or a MasterCard. I would not suggest that you get an American Express or Discover. The reason for that is because there's typically a higher annual fee for cards from MasterCard or from Amex or Discover. They do have lots of great benefits, so I'm not looking down on them. I'm just saying for your first credit card, you may want to look more towards something that's Visa, MasterCard, not necessarily Discover and Amex. Amex and Discover typically charge larger fees to a company that accepts your credit card. So you could go to buy something with an Amex and they may say, we don't accept Amex, or we charge a higher amount of money in fees in the event that you decide to use an Amex. When you look at the credit card marketplace on Credit Karma, I highly suggest, because it shows you the likelihood of whether or not you'll get approved for a certain card. You don't want to apply to cards that you don't get approved at, because again, your hard inquiries are negatively impact your score. So go to ones that have a good approval odds or a great approval odds as shown to you on Credit Karma. The easiest way to start establishing credit is in theory, keep all your finances at a single bank, a bank that's maybe really universal, that there's lots of places that you can pull money from, and then open your secured credit card at that institution. They have a track record of you spending money there, of you utilizing their services. They know how much money you have in the bank. You're building a relationship. You're building a relationship. It's also a good idea for anybody that wants to be financially free to create a relationship with their local banker. Find the bank branch at the largest bank nearest you, Wells Fargo, for example. Go to that bank and get familiar with the bankers. Get familiar with the tellers at the counter. Get familiar with the manager. Get familiar with the person that manages the credit accounts. If they know who you are, it will help you and benefit you later. At the end of the day, we're all human beings, and even though they represent a massive financial institution, a small relationship with that person could be beneficial to you later. You want them thinking about you. You want them wanting you coming in there. They want your business, and you need to let them know that you're willing to give it to them if they'll only allow you to create that relationship. It'll benefit you over time, not only financially, but just in kind of getting the right things at the right time. Hey, there's a great money market account. Hey, there's a great savings account that has a good yield on it. You want to stay there. When you're opening a credit card account, do not, if you follow my dictate about how much money, or how you're never going to pay the bill, you're never going to pay any interest, you don't really care what the APR is. Obviously, you want a card that has a lower APR, but if you're not going to pay any interest, then you don't care. You want the one that has the highest rewards, the highest cash back. If you never spend money that you don't have in your bank account, the APR is irrelevant so long as you pay your bills on time. So, I'm just looking at a couple different ones that I would be approved for, or highly likely I'd be approved for. You have Chase Sapphire, you have Discover, Chase Freedom Unlimited, and they have different things. Purchase APRs, variable APRs, variable purchase APRs, regular purchase APRs. The ideal one would be one that maybe has a really high APR but has a low annual fee or no annual fee. That way you're paying nothing for the ability to have that credit. Your annual fee is zero. You have a super high APR, but you never pay it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But meanwhile, you're accumulating and racking up all these points. What you also may want to do is you may want to try to find a special for you signing up for that card. So for example, if you know somebody that has a Southwest card, for example, Southwest has specials where people that refer Southwest credit cards can get points for referring other people. So me, for example, I've referred a variety of my friends to open a Southwest Airlines credit card. As a result of them opening that credit card, I get a 10,000 Southwest point reward and they get 50,000 points just for signing up. Their first year annual fee is waived. They get 50,000 points. They just got 2 free flights to California or wherever they want. And they got a great credit card that they were going to open anyways. I got 10,000 points, which incentivizes me to share it with them. Ask a friend or ask a person around you what credit card they use. Ask what credit card program they like. Ask them if there's a referral program for their credit card that they could get some points, and maybe you could get some points as well. So, for example, if you guys want to open a Southwest credit card, ask me. I can send you a unique Southwest Airlines link, and every one of you that signs up for a card, I'll get 10,000 points. Pretty cool. Then it incentivizes you to share this knowledge with your friends. I'm not doing this so that you guys open a Southwest Airlines card, but I'm just saying, if you're gonna and you want to, let me know. I'll send you a link. I'll get some points, you'll get some points. You'll get 50,000 points for signing up on Southwest Airlines, and I'll get 10,000 points for referring you. So if anybody wants a Southwest Airlines referral, hit me in the DM and I will send you a unique referral link for Southwest Airlines. And that will give me some points, and then you'll get some points as well. But if you don't, whatever. Ask your friends. See if your friends have a Southwest Airlines card. See if your friends have a card that they can refer you and get some points or get some cash back. Keep it in the circle. Play the game. Play the game. Play the game. Reward the people around you. Now, these have been all of the most crucial elements of establishing credit. You stay aware of how much money is in your bank account. You never spend any money on interest. You don't really care so much about the APR because you're going to pay it back anyways. You want a low annual fee, but you want something that's going to give you a lot of rewards. With these simple rules, by following these, you can become more financially free. Your credit card and your credit score will reward you as a result. You'll pay a lower amount of money when it comes to buying a home. You'll pay a lower amount of money and a lower interest rate when it comes to buying a car. And it will allow you more and more credit. Now, in addition to that, once you open a credit card, let's say that you open one at Southwest Airlines, you open one at Chase Bank, or you open one at any one of these institutions. Once you've established credit over a period of time, people that want the Southwest link, just shoot me a DM and ask me for the Southwest link and I'll give it to you. I forgot what I was just going to say. Okay. I'm like getting the Southwest link. I forget what I was just going to say, but when you borrow money for a car, when you borrow money for your house, for your mortgage, they're going to issue you a percentage rate that you're borrowing against for however long the term of your loan is, and it will be dictated largely based on your credit score. So how you treat this credit score and your awareness to it will dictate how much money you end up spending for a variety of different things over time. So take this into great consideration when making any financial moves. Now, there are also a variety of other tools that Credit Karma offers you, which is why I'm suggesting that you sign up for a Credit Karma account. It shows you how to open credit cards. It shows you how to... Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. Okay. What I was going to talk about is a credit limit increase. So let's say that you go to Southwest Airlines, they give you a credit limit of $10,000. After you've used that credit card for 9 months, 12 months, 15 months, you can go back to Southwest Airlines and you can say, hey, I would like to increase my credit limit. Now, instead of having a $15,000 credit limit, they might bump you up to a $20,000 credit limit or a $25,000 credit limit, which means that if you spend more money on that card, it keeps your utilization lower. Over time, even if you don't need it, I repeat, even if you do not need it, go back to your credit card company over time and ask them for a credit limit increase. Don't get in the habit of doing this multiple times a year. Do it like once a year, maybe after a year and a half, something like that. And just keep it in mind, because the higher limit you have, the more credit is extended to you, the better you look to any financial institution that's going to extend you credit later in the future. Now, some people will think about their business and think about, hey, I don't want to, like, let's talk about taxable income as it relates to your business. This is kind of a little bit of a trap that business owners get in. At the end of the year, you file a W-2 in the United States, and that W-2 shows how much income you made for that calendar year. If you own a business, you want to show a really low amount of profit because you're only going to get taxed on your profit. So people will say, "Hey, spend out of your account and buy equipment, or spend it on whatever else, spend it on assets, spend it on other things, so that you can reduce your taxable income, your profit for the end of the year." The only problem with that is the less profit you take, the less profit you show, the worse you look to the bank. So it's like a double-edged sword. You have to determine whether or not you want to pay a lower amount of money in taxes, or if you want to play the game and show the bank that you have a large amount of income. If you're looking to make a large purchase, like buying a house, like buying a better car, like trying to make a purchase that's going to require a lot of credit, if you've been showing on your tax returns that your business makes no profit, that's not going to look very good for you. So you may need to take a little bit of a hit for a couple years and pay a higher amount in taxes on your income so that you can show and demonstrate to the banks and the financial institutions that your business is making money and is profitable. So as it relates to you personally, some people will they'll be like, I want to get paid in cash. I don't want it to be on my taxable income. Well, when you go to buy a house, they take into consideration how much money you make historically, going back 24 months. How much income you made 23 months ago is taken into account when they look to giving you money when they look to loaning you money for you to buy a house. They look at the amount of money that you take in per month and the amount of money that you have to put out. They look at what you spend on electricity, what you spend on food, what you spend on kind of like major expenses. Do you have any car loans? Do you have any outstanding loans? Do you have any student loans? They look at what's called your debt to income ratio. You're going to want to look that up and do a little bit of research about a debt to income ratio. When it comes time for you to buy a house, they look at your debt to income ratio, the amount of debt you have and how much it costs you per month to maintain it, versus the amount of income that you have in a month, and they compare those. If your debt to income ratio is you only have a couple $1,000s left at the end of the month, they're not going to let you buy a $500,000 house. So pay attention to that debt to income ratio. Understand that the amount of money that you show on the books, the amount of money that is validated on the books, your actual income, what you file to the IRS, will help dictate how much money you're going to get extended to in credit. So even though it might seem like you're kind of beating the system by reducing your total taxable income every year, you're actually hurting yourself when it comes to getting credit extended to you. So it's a double-edged sword. You got to play the game. Don't close an account. Don't close an account. Don't close an account. When it comes to paying accounts off, let's say that you get in a bind and you actually do have to pay your credit cards off, or you actually do have to hold the credit and accumulate some interest. Pay off your highest interest loans first. Get rid of the highest interest loans first, and then work your way back. Pay down the ones that have the highest interest rate, the highest APR, the ones that are dinging you the most. Get rid of those first. The simple fact of you finishing one and getting rid of one will kind of give you a little bit of a boost. That'll make you feel better about chipping away at your debt. If you have debt, if you accumulate debt, don't buy frivolous things. Don't make frivolous purchases. Pay attention to where your money is going day to day, month to month, week to week. Okay. That is a pretty good spread on how to maintain a credit score. So for the last little bit here, for the last of you guys that are in the room here, thank you so much for being here. If you guys have any questions, hit me with a question. If anyone has any questions, I'll take questions for 10 minutes. Hit me with a question right down here in the button. Ask me some questions, and I will answer some questions right now if anybody has questions. And here's the last thing as it relates to money. And this is not necessarily a credit thing. This is a life thing. The best investment that you can make is in yourself. The best thing that you can do with money is invest in education, okay? Invest in yourself. Figure out how to make more money. What is absolutely the most important thing is not to reduce your expenses, but to increase your income. Now, you want to make sure that you understand your expenses. You want to monitor and take control of your expenses. And you don't want to spend money on things that are not necessary. Don't buy the watch. Don't buy the clothes. Don't take the trip. Don't buy the Starbucks. Preserve your cash, but what's far more important than monitoring your expenses is figuring out how to bring in more income. Increase your income. Don't worry about your expenses as much as you worry about increasing your income. Take a second job, work extra hours, get some overtime, pick up a side hustle. Go on YouTube and don't be a victim. Don't be a money victim. Go on YouTube, look up debt to income ratio, how a credit score is calculated, how to borrow money, how to manage money. Use cell phone apps like Mint. Use Mint. Look up the Mint cell phone app. Mint is a budget tracker and planner. That's a free budget tracker and planner that helps you manage your budget, helps you track your spending, and helps you monitor your subscriptions and things like that from day to day, month to month. It's totally free. Use an app like Mint. Use Mint, manage your money, take control of your money. Biggie, chill out, dude. Nobody's asking any questions. So, hey! Okay, so use something like Mint to monitor your investments. Stay on top of the money that's going out. Know how much money you have in your bank account at any given time. Know how much money you borrowed on your credit card at any given time. Throughout the month, I would highly suggest that you pay down your balance as the month goes. You've talked about Dave Ramsey's approach before and the disadvantage of being completely debt-free. Can you explain that a little further? Look, I use debt. I like using debt, especially now when interest rates are low, to move forward, to get ahead, right? So most people, the vast majority of people in the United States are utilizing credit at any given time. The idea, the theory that you're going to have no credit is crazy, right? Let's think about this. If you borrow money for a house right now and you have a good credit score and you purchase a house, you could have a 30-year loan on an asset, which is the house. At any given time, if you needed to get out, you could sell the house. Most of the time, you could sell the house. There's lots of buyers for houses. They maintain their value. Sometimes they grow. So having a house and having a loan on your house is not that bad because you're paying 3%, 3.5%, or whatever spread out over 30 years. The Dave Ramsey approach, as far as I know, I don't know everything about Dave Ramsey, is like, you don't want any debt. Well, I have a house, right? I have debt on my house. I owe $132,000 of debt on my house. I'm not worried about that debt. It's 3.75%. Yes, I'm accumulating interest every month, but at the same time, it's very low interest. Meanwhile, all that, if I was to take $132,000 of cash out of my bank account, let's say, and just pay the mortgage off, all that money now is tied up in the house. And I'm sitting here with no $132,000, and all I have is this house, which is maybe appreciating in value. And yes, I'm not spending money every month on my mortgage, but I also don't have the $132,000 of cash at 3 whatever percent. Let's call it 4%. If I was to take that $132,000 of cash and instead of tying it up in the crib, and I was to go and buy stocks with it, invest in my business, buy better equipment. Maybe I'm a lawn cutting business. I buy an extra lawnmower. I hire an extra person. I buy or invest into plant and equipment. I buy into something that's going to help my business make more money. I go to a trade show. I go to a networking event. I buy a plane ticket to go to a conference where I meet people and help grow my business. If I took that $132,000 and dumped it into my crib, I don't have that free cash to go and invest into going to a trade show, to buy that plane ticket, to buy a hotel, to go and buy a booth at an event. I don't have that money to take a class, take a course, empower myself. The $132K is tied up in the crib, where if I was to go and use it for myself, I would probably make more than 3.75% per year on that cash. Okay, so I owe $132,000 on my crib, but I take free money and I put it in where? I put it into my business. I buy cash flowing assets that earn me more than the 3%. I buy stocks in the US stock market, of which a lot of my positions are up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%. Some of my positions are up 250%. So I'm up 250% on a stock market position where that $132K would have been stuck in this house not doing dick for me, right? That's the point, is that if you tie up all that money when all you're accumulating is 3% or 4% of interest, that money is not able for you to freely use and move around and invest into other things that will help you grow your income. So I don't want to pay that house off, even though I could pay off the vast majority of it by just taking cash out of the bank and dumping it in. I want to use that money to help me grow my income, to grow my assets, to grow my cash flow. I need that cash flow, dog. You want that cash flow. That cash flow is the game. That's the game. That's the real game. That's what rich people do. Rich people buy cash flow. If you don't have a lot of money, invest in education. Go online and take courses. Go online and use YouTube. Go online and educate yourself. Spend the free money to educate yourself on how to be financially free. Make this part of your daily habits. Listen to people like Peter Schiff. Listen to economists. Listen to people that talk about money, think about money, explain money. Consume it all. Go online, type in how to make money, how to earn more money, how to save more money. Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Brad Lee. Look at these people and follow their guide. It's fucking free. It's free. Go online, educate yourself. Instead of watching Netflix tonight, do that. While you're at the gym, listen to financial shit. Don't listen to music. Listen to a podcast about the economy. Listen to ways that help you grow your income. Monitor the amount of information that comes into your brain and take control of it. If you take control of what comes in, it will help your output. What you start to realize over time is something that Andy Frisella said on his podcast that he posted today, which is that really successful people take stock of what comes into their brain and what they allow to use some of their mental energy. Think about the information that's inbound in your brain and think about how that information is helping you output value. If you are taking things, if you are bringing information into your mind that's not allowing you to produce value outward, then why are you consuming it? I understand entertainment, whatever, but that's for when you're happy with your position. If you're not happy with your position in life, learn more. Take that extra time that you could spend doing something else and learn more. You don't like it? Put on some headphones right now, put on YouTube and go take a walk. Go take a 1 hour walk. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna walk the dog after I get off this, and here's what I have the ability to do. I could use that hour to empower myself with more education and more understanding, or I could use that hour to listen to music. I could use that hour to think. I could use that hour to do whatever. But no matter what it is, you should not be wasting it or squandering it on something that's not gonna allow you to be more productive. Think about what is inbound, and that will help you output value. That will help you produce more value for yourself. That's a very good suggestion. Once this live is done, how do you benefit the people around you? How will you use this to benefit others? Save it, send it to other people, send it to the person that you know that needs this badly. Send this around, post it to your story, help share the knowledge, help share the value. Great suggestion. The simplest and easiest way to get ahead, in my opinion, is to utilize otherwise unproductive time and fill it with productive time. Take the time that you're fucking driving and listen to podcasts about money. Take time when you're walking the dog, when you wake up. The first thing that I do when I wake up in the morning is I turn on a podcast of something that can give me productive value for the day. And I just listen to it while I'm doing all the stuff that I was gonna do anyways. Wake up, sit in bed, walk the dog, brush my teeth, make a cup of coffee, sit down in the sun, go outside, check the mail. It's just going, cooking, producing value while I'm not even paying attention. I don't even have to pay attention. It's just there. When I go to sleep, I listen to economic podcasts and I go to sleep to it. It's in my brain, it's cooking, it's productive value. It increases my output and allows me to be free. I'm listening to freedom. I'm listening to freedom. Follow? It's freedom. It's not money, it's freedom. It's not greed, it's freedom. It's freedom. Fortify your position in the world. Fortify your protection. Create a fortress, create an empire, create a machine that provides value to you while you're asleep, and you'll be rich forever. Buy cash flow. Buy cash flow. Focus on cash flow. Increase your income. Don't worry so much about your expenses, even though you want to keep them tight and reduced. Carly, you go to sleep listening to economics. Yes, I do. I literally go to sleep listening to economic podcasts. Because I want to be free. You feel me? I want to be free forever. I want to protect myself. I want to fortify my position. I want a fortress. I want a 150-foot wall that no one could scale. You follow? I want a moat around my shit. I want to protect myself so nobody can fuck with it. That's the point. It's freedom. It's freedom. You don't like your boss telling you to do some shit? Imagine if you had money in the bank. You don't want to wear a diaper to work? Imagine if you had money in the bank. Imagine if you could be free of that. Think about this. I had a really wealthy friend. This blew my mind a long time ago. This is where it really kind of set in for me. She she hurt her knee, injured her knee. And she was sitting there with a cast around her knee that I had never seen before. This cast had tubes in it that had cold water refreshing through the tubes. Okay? This blew my mind, changed my whole life, I swear to God. And I hope it has the same impact for you. I was like, what is that? Instead of putting an ice pack on her knee like all of us plebes do, she had a machine that had a cast around her knee that cycled through cold water. And that cold water keeps her knee cold and refreshed all the time. The healing time for her knee was 30% less than the traditional healing time for a normal cast. Which means she literally used money to be healthier, faster, better, stronger. Money allowed her to have her knee repair faster. Most people would just have a cast and sit. It cycled through cold water. That's freedom. That's freedom. Two chumps, both with their knee fucked up. Your knee's better faster. What could you do? You could get out there producing. You could get out there making money. You could get out there getting yours. You could get out there getting ahead instead of sitting at home. You feel me? That shit, that blew my freaking skull apart. I was like, no, I never knew. I was like, no, wow. And it's just like, that's the type of stuff. That's where money makes you free. You want to fly somewhere to create an opportunity for yourself? You know what you need? Money. You have a new product, you have a business, you want to grow that business, you know what you need? A trade show booth. Oh, I wish I could do this. I wish I could. Think about this. The amount of money that you spend. Think about time. You have to think about time as money. Time is money, right? Time for everything is money. Think about it like this. I pay for someone to wash my car. It costs $25 for me to go to the car washing place and have them wash my car. It costs $25. I have to do it between the hours of 9 and 5 because that's when the car wash is open, right? Those are the high producing value hours of the day, right? That's when I should be at work. But instead, I go to the station, or I go to the car washing place, I pay $25 to have them wash my car. Well, I'm there for 30 minutes, okay? So I lose that productive time. I'm not being productive because I'm sitting there with my thumb up my ass waiting for them to wash the car. I drive home, it's really 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes. Okay, I just lost 40 minutes of time. Or I could use a cell phone app that brings the car washer to me. The car washer comes to my house and they wash the car in my driveway. Well, what did I do? I didn't drive to the car wash. I didn't have to go between 9 and 5 because I could do it whenever I want as long as they're willing to show up. They come 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever. Meanwhile, I'm sitting at home on my computer, being productive, creating income. So I pay $50 for the guy to come to my house and wash it here at the house, but I don't have to go there. I don't have to lose that 45 minutes. You know what I did during that 45 minutes? I went on my computer. I charged $150 an hour on my computer. I made $150, or I made, in this case, $110 in the same 45 minutes that would have otherwise made $0. Yes, I paid twice as much for the car to be washed, but I was able to produce income. So it doesn't matter that I spent $50 to wash the car because I brought more than that in an income. So in that 45 minutes of time, I'm up $50 instead of being down all that time and the 25. Now I got my car washed and I'm up 50. Follow? That's how you have to think about money. Think about your groceries. Most people spend an hour to 2 hours a week at the grocery store. If you could go on Instacart or go on Whole Foods food delivery and get that food delivered to you, you would save 1 to 2 hours per week. If you charge $50 an hour, you'd have saved $100 a week. It's worth it for you to pay $20 for Instacart to deliver your groceries and then go make $100 in that same amount of time. Go make the $50, go make the $100. Don't worry about the delivery fee. It's all about getting your income up, not managing all of your expenses. It's so crucial to understand how much time dictates how much freedom, how much value you can produce. It's all about producing income, not squandering time. Time is the only thing. That's the thing you need to pay attention to all the time now until forever. This is how you do it. Somebody just mentioned a cleaner for the house. I have a maid that comes to clean my house every single week. It costs $60. It used to cost $75 for her to clean my house. I'll give you an example. She would come and clean my house. It would cost me $75. I would have her come every 2 weeks. That's $150 a month. $75 every 2 weeks, $150 a month. As a result, my house was clean most of the time. By the second week, it was like there's dog hair, the dishes, whatever. It's like a cluttered personal space is a cluttered mind. So a clean house helps you stay sharp, helps you produce more, right? Because you're not this floor. You're feeling down on yourself. It lowers your feeling about yourself. So I was spending $75 twice every 2 weeks, $150 a month. I called up the guy that has the maid come and clean my house, and I said, if I go to every week, could I drop it to $60? Okay, sure. So now the maid comes every week on Monday, because obviously the weekend, it's like you make dinner on Sunday night, you don't want to deal with it or whatever. Every Monday I start the week, fresh crib. Every Monday. It's always sharp, right? House is clean. I never clean. I never sweep. I never mop. I never do nothing. I don't clean the toilet. I don't clean the bathtub. I don't even think about it. All the time that was otherwise spent Swiffering, sweeping, getting down on myself because the kitchen is dirty or whatever else, all that mental energy, even if it was 20 minutes a week, is poof, gone. 20 minutes a week times 4 weeks, that's 80 minutes a month. That's an hour and 20 minutes. If I make $150 an hour, I just lost $185 or whatever dollars of productive time fucking being down on myself because the house is dirty. You follow? So it's just like, for $60 a week, it's gone. I never think about that shit. It's gone. I don't need to buy supplies. I don't buy Windex. I don't buy mops. I don't buy brooms. I don't buy shit. I don't clean nothing. Always clean. All the time. Frees my mind to be productive. For me to create more income. And in that hour to 2 hours of time that I would have spent buying the materials, storing them, sweeping, doing all that shit that I don't want to do, I'm producing value. Producing value. Okay? That's how you have to think about time. So it gets to the point where it's like, okay, the house is clean every day, 60 times 4. I spend $240 a month instead of spending $150 a month. But now I never clean, ever. So for that extra $90, if you do it by how much the cleans cost originally, $240 divided by 75, I'm really paying for only 3.2 cleans, yet I'm getting 4, which means I'm getting 8/10 of a clean for free. Meanwhile, I never think about anything ever. Now, if you start thinking about your productive time, and you start thinking about how you buy groceries, how you go get gas, if you could buy gas at the gas station next to your house, and it's 10 cents more than the gas station across town, is it worth it? Driving across town to save 10%? 10 cents? No, of course not. You just get it gone. Get it gone. Get it out of your life. Get it out of your mind. Don't squander otherwise productive mental energy on inconsequential, low value, low energy, non-producing time, non-productive time. If you focus your mind on things that allow you to produce more, if you free up your mind of all of that stuff, imagine what you could come up with in that otherwise non-productive time. Some people clean and they love it. They internalize it, whatever. They go to the grocery store, they spend 2 hours there picking the deals and all that stuff. That's fine. But that's people that are thinking in terms of scarcity, not abundance. You gotta think in terms of abundance. When I buy gas, I don't even look at how much the gas costs. That's not because I'm rich. That's because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because that is low tier shit. You're talking 20 cents. I need the gas. I need it. I need it in order to produce. I need it in order to hit. I don't look at the gas price. I just fill up the tank. It doesn't even cross my mind. I don't care. Fill it. Who cares? I'm trying to gun to produce. All right? I'm trying to produce. I don't care about the gas. Quite frankly, I don't really care about the groceries either. Low tier stuff. You're talking about a difference of $10, $20. I can make $20 in 20 minutes, 15 minutes. If I know how to produce, if I know how to hit. If the extra 5 hours a month that I was spending cleaning and squandering my otherwise non-productive time, it's wasted. All of that extra time that you have allows you to produce at a higher level, allows you to think at a higher level. You eliminate all the stuff in your life that are inconsequential. See if you can price out all of that stuff. Get somebody to cut your lawn, get somebody to water your plants, get somebody to clean your house, get somebody to deliver your groceries, get somebody to wash your car, and figure out how to produce more. Now, a good idea for all people of any age, it doesn't matter how old you are. A good idea is for you to go to eTrade.com and open an IRA, an investment retirement account. I hope that's what it stands for. What is that? I believe that's what it is. What does IRA stand for? IRA, individual, tickle me Elmo, an individual retirement account. I would highly suggest that no matter how old you are, you open an individual retirement account, also known as an IRA. Or if you have a 401k with your job, great, but you should open an IRA. An IRA, what that does is it allows you to set money aside for when you retire. There is never an age that is too young for you to set money aside to retire. Even if you put in $5 a month, $10 a month, open an IRA. Go to sites like eTrade.com and open an IRA. An IRA is a totally free account that allows you to set money aside for retirement where it can then grow. No matter how much you have, you should have an IRA. You should open an IRA. Go to eTrade.com and open an IRA. You should get in the habit of setting aside cash all of the time for a rainy day. You should create scarcity in your mind with the amount of money that you have in your account, but not scarcity as how you look at the world. So if you set money aside into this IRA, it's like you don't even have it. Meanwhile, you're accumulating toward your future. You're accumulating and protecting yourself, insulating your operation to the end of your life. If you have an IRA and you don't use that money, you're always setting it aside. It creates the habit of stashing money away. By stashing that money away, and now I'm not saying stash it away before you invest it in yourself. I'm not saying stash it away before you buy assets. I'm not saying stash it away before you buy cash flow or you grow your business or you invest in your education. I'm saying just stash something, anything. $5 a month, $10 a month, $50 a month. Just get in the habit of making a repeat and consistent flow to your IRA. The benefit that it has, depending on the type of IRA that you open, is it can reduce your taxable income. So for example, at the end of the year, if you make $100,000 in income, you could put $5,000 in your IRA and then you're only taxed on $95,000 of income. So it becomes this taxable unit where you save money, depending on the type of IRA that you open. Now I'm not gonna get into IRAs, that's a whole other topic, but the idea is that you should have one no matter how old you are and how much money you have. All right. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm going to end this and post it up. After I post it, please send it to people that you know that need it. Please reshare it on your story. Send it to people that you know. Send it to people that could benefit from it. And I did the best that I can to dump it all here. Now, I also have a pretty big announcement to make tonight. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go live again maybe in a couple hours, maybe 9:30. It's 7 o'clock now. So maybe in 2.5 hours, I'm going to go live again. And I actually have a pretty interesting announcement that I think you guys might like. I'm pretty excited about it. So, does anybody have any questions? My top 5 podcasts: Real AF with Andy Frisella, the Peter Schiff Show podcast, Schiff SCHIFF, Louder with Crowder. Those are some of my favorite pods right now. Does anybody else have any questions while I'm here? You're very welcome. Thank you. All right. I don't see any questions, so I think I'm going to dip for now. Remember, please follow me on YouTube, youtube.com/Bobby Sausalito. Consider buying something in the Bobby Sauce merchandise store, bobbysauce.com. Make sure you follow me on Facebook. Make sure you follow me on YouTube. Ed Milet is great. Creditkarma.com, secured credit card, IRA, E-Trade. If you want a Southwest Airlines link, hit me in the DM and I'll send you a link for Southwest Airlines. Focus on producing more income. Don't worry so much about saving. I do not recommend crypto, but that's just my thing. Some people like it. It's just not my thing. If you got any value, please consider sending this to as many of your friends as you think might need it. Please consider reposting it to your story. Please send it to as many people as you can that you think would find value from this. I will also post it on Facebook, and now I'll post it on YouTube. I'll get it up here in a little bit. So please share it with people as much as you can. If you got any value today, I appreciate all the people that sent me Venmos. Please consider sending me a Venmo at takenaps or a Cashapp $takenaps. I would really much appreciate it. If you don't have Venmo or Cash App, on bobbysauce.com, there's a link that says custom video. Just go to the custom video tab, make a donation there, include your IG handle, and I'll send you a thanks, or don't, whatever you want. But you can make a donation of any of those 3 ways. If you got some value today, please consider doing that. I thank you guys so much for being here. Really, all I want from you, though, is for you to take this information and use it to better benefit your life. If you think that this was valuable for you, share it with other people, DM it to other people, send it to people. Watch my video from today, share it to your story, tell your friends. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much I want to give a quick shout out to all the people that sent me Venmos while I was on here. I want to just give them a little quick shout out. Casey Hart, Jenny Rice, Edna McQueston, and Ariana Tiello. Thank you guys so much for the Venmos. I very much appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for your time, and I will see you later. Thank you. Go get money. Produce. Educate yourself. Go on YouTube. Learn how to make more money. You can do it. We can do it. Let's get this bread, fam. 2021.